This video is going to be really long and maybe quite borderline depressing, but I'm going to do it. I mean, yeah. So first of all, I want to start off with a spoiler. So a lot of people on Tumblr, when I talk about people of colour dying in TV shows, tell me that it's not my problem and that I shouldn't be affected by it, I shouldn't be angry by it because it's not my race. And all due respect, I totally get it. Like, it must be hard for those people to see how they're treated, not only in real life but also in TV shows. And I feel like TV shows should be a safe space for us all, because that's how I've always seen my shows. They've always been my kind of blanket, my safe space. So when I talk about how angry I am and how I support equality on Tumblr, I always get a lot of messages from people lashing out at me saying, "You're white, you shouldn't be angry at this." And I just want to say that just because I'm white, it doesn't mean that I can't support black equality, I can't support equality in general, and that I can't have a voice or opinions or kind of feelings towards the situation. Now, I have to say I do have a lot of feelings towards the situation, and I'm going to be very careful about the way I portray my feelings because I don't want to offend anyone. So at the same time as feeling like I shouldn't be one to discuss this book, I think it has a really important message that needs to get across. So I'm going to do it, and if anything happens, then yeah. So I'm going to try not to offend anyone, and let's just get on with this. So the story I'm reviewing today is The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. Now, this is Angie Thomas's debut novel, and it's already got a movie thingy coming out. It's already got a lot of praise. It's one of New York Times bestsellers, and quite rightly so, because the message that this book's trying to get across is very important. So I'm going to start off by talking about the plot of the book, and then I'm going to get into my feelings and overall thoughts. So this story follows our protagonist Star, who is being escorted home from a party by her black friend Khalil. Now, Khalil and Star are driving along when they're pulled over by a white cop. Number 115. So Khalil is kind of told to get out of the car with his arms behind his back, and when he does that, he kind of, like, when the officer has his back turned to him, he goes to the car and asks Star if she's okay, and then the officer shoots. Now, as I said, this story is very realistic and very true to life. There are so many stories in the media that have the same kind of elements, and I think Angie Thomas really hit that off very well. So in this book, Khalil is a drug dealer, and he is predominantly blamed for his own death because he is a drug dealer. This really annoys me to no end because it's as if they're saying that's why he died. And this is a theme that's brought up a lot in the book. Khalil was a drug dealer, that's why he died. And I'd just like to say that our actions, big and small, shouldn't define whether we deserve to live or not. No, I'm not saying that murderers deserve to live, because they don't. Number 115 should have been sentenced. I'm sorry. But this book has a lot of themes of white privilege and black people living in economically depressed areas. There's a lot of social issues in this book. Star is from a very underprivileged, economically depressed neighborhood that is predominantly black, and she goes to school in a very wealthy, more privileged white neighborhood, and she is one of the only black students at the school. Now, Star has two versions of herself. The version she has of herself at home, where she's her more real self, and the version that she has around her white friends and white high school mates. She feels like she doesn't want these two worlds to collide. So when Chris is invited into her kind of other world, she feels kind of suffocated, and she doesn't really want him to know that part of her. But at the same time, she feels comforted by the fact that she can be herself around him. This book tackles some very obvious racial issues in society. For example, the white cop always getting away with it. This is something that I will scream from the rooftops about. This is something that really, really bothers me. It doesn't really happen in my own country because we don't really have that social issue. That's not one of our social issues, but it's very, very big in America. And in this book, what really breaks my heart is this list at the end, where all these people that have been killed by a white cop or by a racial crime is listed. And honestly, it hurts my soul. It wasn't till that part of the book that I really noticed the realism. Well, no, I noticed the realism throughout, but it wasn't to the end of this book that I physically cried. I cried for all the people in real life that had lost someone to police brutality. I cried for all the people whose lives were not justified by the justice system. This book touches on how the justice system works against black people, and I think it's really fair to say that, because in real life and in this book, the white cop always gets away with it. He's protected by the law, he's protected by his white privilege, and all these people have to suffer. And then they're all like, well, why are they protesting? Why are they setting things on fire? Well, bitch, you want to know why they're protesting? They're protesting because the justice system works against them. The justice system is so fucked up, mostly in America. If you want to kind of read this book and you're white, I feel like it's a good idea to. It's opened my eyes a lot. I don't know, I feel like it's made me more of a equality, black rights, human rights activist, more than I already am, because I'm a huge, equality activist and also feminist. I'm gonna get so much hate. You get so much hate for believing in equality and feminism, but there you go. I believe in it. Yeah, I've really just rambled, and I feel like I haven't said everything that I want to say. What's another good point about this book? It's written in... I don't want to offend anyone. It's written in a very good representational tone of a black character. For example, it uses terminology that those people would use. It's written in the style of a black woman, so yeah, and I feel like Angie Thomas is the best person to put this story across, considering that she is a woman of colour and she does know how it feels. This book also gives us a little history lesson on black history. There's sections on Tupac, Emmett Till, a lot of stuff about people that, like, equality activists for black people in history. It has a lot of history lessons in it. So I feel like this book is not only very real, but it's also very educational. I just realised I've had my fan on for the whole video, so the quality of the sound is going to be very not great, but I apologise for that. So I'm going to end this video, but this book is really special to me, and the reason that I read it is because I don't resonate with the situation, and I wanted to kind of educate myself and feel empathy for these people. So yeah, if you like this review, leave your comments in the comment section below and tell me, well, I mean, if you've read this book, leave me your thoughts below so we can, you know, discuss. Keep it civil. I don't think I've said anything offensive. If I have, I am really, really sorry, because this literally devastates me, and I wouldn't want to hit a nerve on anyone that has been affected by any of the themes in that book. So yeah, remember that you're loved, stay hydrated, have a good summer, and I'll see you in my next video.